Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of the podcast where we sit down with some of the sharpest minds in the management consulting industry. This episode is powered by Clubhouse AI. At Clubhouse AI, we help management consulting firms break free from outdated lead gen methods like networking, events, and referrals, which often feel more like wishful thinking than a real strategy. Our battle tested data driven client acquisition system brings in your ideal clients with no chasing, no guesswork, just predictable compounding growth. If you're in management consulting and you're looking to scale your business and see results within the first week, DM us the word growth for a free consultation. Now, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Today we have a very special guest who is Michael Hein, founder of Balance Point Coaching. Thank you so much for being on today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me a little about what you do and your story?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. I'm Michael Hein. I am the founder and head coach of Balance Point Coaching. So I work, I am an executive coach, leadership development programs. So I work with leaders of all levels to help understand themselves, their leadership style a little bit better so that they can communicate and set better expectations with the people and teams that they're leading.
Awesome. It's amazing. How did you get involved with that?
I managed a sales team for a long time and when I left that position, I went to go just be a salesperson, individual contributor, and I found myself really missing like the coaching aspect, managing people, setting goals, helping people understand and problem solve. And I knew that being an individual contributor wasn't going to be my end goal, and I kind of realized that coaching was a job that a lot of people do. And I said, wow, this is exactly what I want to be doing. And I had also always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but never really understood what I was going to do, right? Like I was never a software engineer, never had that one idea of of a product I could make. And so when coaching came up, it was the perfect opportunity for me to own my own business, be my own boss, and do something that I'm really happy and passionate about doing.
That's
So
amazing.
that was about 2 years ago. I started this and had every intention of moonlighting it while I had my full-time job. And then I got laid off and said, "All right, I'm full speed ahead to this business ownership thing. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's going to be great." And I have never looked back.
That's awesome. That's an amazing story. I think people misunderstand that entrepreneurship isn't as risky as they think. They say get a real job. It's secure. You'll got a foundation under you, but you can get laid off just as easy as that. Like you said, being an entrepreneur, you determine your own success. You're your own boss, and it's your fault if you get if your business goes under, and it could even be
That's right.
more secure if you're good at what you do. That's amazing. So, what does a typical day look like for you? What's your job look like?
Yeah, so I'm a coach. So most of my time is spent having sessions with clients. And my clients are anywhere from small business owners to frontline managers to C-suite and VP level managers or leaders. And so usually they come with some sort of problem that they need solving. You know, I'm having friction with somebody and I need help resolving that. Or I have this idea that's half baked that I want to work out. Or I'm just so overwhelmed I don't really know what to do next. And we'll work through a lot of those problems together, work toward a resolution that is not only for that individual session, but towards this kind of leadership arc that we're always working on.
Yeah.
So that's for the most part what I'm doing. Everything else is typical business ownership stuff. Being an entrepreneur, coming from the corporate world and being an entrepreneur, you're certainly used to having a marketing team to create lead funnels. You're used to having an SDR team to cultivate those leads, a finance team, an accounts payable team to track down your money, which is a really fun conversation I get to have later today. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're all of those things. So it's a matter of I'm constantly trying to post content on LinkedIn to kind of cultivate my network, creating direct sales leads, doing some fun accounting, and then whatever else there is to create business. I'm working on a workshop series right now that I can deliver to bigger groups about leadership and leadership transitions to try to, just impact more people that way and then use that to bring in more individual clients as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. You just described the classic entrepreneur lifestyle there, taking on
Totally.
every role and doing all the marketing sales. It can be daunting at times, but it's also something fun. Yeah, I
Yeah.
salute you for it. And now that we kind of covered who you are, what you do, who is Michael Hein, let's look a little bigger picture now. How is AI? It's such a huge trend going on right now. How has that affected your business and your growth strategy?
Yeah, I can't imagine what it was like to do this job 10 years ago because I lean on AI so much now. I would say that the two biggest ways, it's probably similar to a lot of people do. I use it, number one, for content creation, like I was talking about earlier. And the way that I do it is I'll use ChatGPT to post mostly on LinkedIn is what I do. And I'll come to it and I'll say, here's what I want to do. I had this amazing interaction with a client. Here's a lesson that I want to relate to the masses to create a message that people will relate to. And so I'll type it out and then I'll say, please reorganize this or rewrite this in a way that optimizes LinkedIn's I don't know, capture method or something. And it'll reorganize it with emojis and bold words and spaces because it knows what LinkedIn wants for its algorithm. And
Hmm.
so it'll reorganize that so that I can get picked up and then, it ends up popping up on other people's timelines and that's how you just start to get more eyeballs on your content.
Right. Get some
And
inbound leads there. Yeah.
that's what most of my business is referral and inbound leads from LinkedIn, from, connections of connections that saw my post or saw three posts in a row and messaged me and says, "Hey, that really resonated. Tell me again what it is you do and how you helped this person." So that's something I use a couple times a week, honestly. And then the third or the second way is similar to what you and I are doing, which is call recordings and being able to record all my sessions with my clients and then use AI to go back and analyze them. So a coaching conversation winds through so many different ways and goes off on tangents, and we cover so much information that over the course of 5 or 6 sessions, it's easy to forget where came from. And so I'll type in, I'll say, hey, can you analyze the last 5 sessions and tell me what three main themes keep coming up with this person? And then I'll look at that and I'll compare where this person continues to go versus what our goal was to solve. And if those don't align, then I can go to the client the next time and say, "You keep wanting to take the conversation this way. Is that more important to you than what we set out to do?" And a lot of times they'll say, "Wow, I can't. I'm surprised that I keep bringing that up. Yes, let's explore that a little bit more." In addition to the fact that I can't remember a whole lot of things. And so it is really nice to have that AI reminder to say, here was the follow-up, here's what you talked about, here's what their action items were. Let's make sure that we can follow up with them in between sessions to make sure that they're progressing in their goals.
Yeah, yeah. I think what we're both using it right now is what it looks like is a Fathom AI note taker. Free tip for anybody listening. It's such
Yeah,
a great tool to
Fathom, I
be able
mean,
to send out notes. Yeah, and it even sends the summaries of the calls you have. So it's super professional, and you'll be able to send recaps to whoever you had a call with. Yeah, it's so great for all those uses.
it's great, and it also what I use a lot is this real-time coaching widget that it has. So a coaching conversation, and this is true for a professional coach or anybody who's managing anybody, the talk distribution should be 80-20. 20% me, the coach, 80% the person that I'm having a coaching conversation with.
Yep.
And so it will give me real time, you're talking too much kind of indications. And then I can go back and let it analyze like what my questions were. Were they open-ended questions? Were they closed-ended? Did they, like how much did they talk compared to my answers? I'm sorry, compared to my questions. So it's a really amazing thing to get real-time feedback for those of us that are on video calls all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. And any other ways you're using AI to grow your business?
I mean, it's in everything I do. Like I use Canva for
Yeah.
most of my marketing, and it's amazing how I've done so many things now that it kind of will guess and just take a
Right.
lot of the work away of the design if I need to do, like I've got a new proposal that I need to do, but this one's different from the last ones I've done. It'll it'll kind of take my brand kit and create that. Um, like I use QuickBooks. Like QuickBooks anticipates a
Yeah.
ton of my expenses and things like that and makes life so much easier. Again, stuff that we used to just have like an expense team that I would just send receipts to. And now I'm stuck doing that, but AI makes things so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, it streamlines things. It's definitely great for entrepreneurs and smaller businesses who don't have a huge team yet. They can use these AI tools and agents as well as their
Yeah,
team. They might just be a solopreneur, but they have a team of 5 or 6 AI. It's amazing.
that's right.
Have you thought about using that to kind of grow and scale your business, or what kind of strategies are you looking at implementing with AI, or are you looking at new strategies for that?
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I need to just shift my outreach somehow. And I'm not entirely certain what that looks like, but just being able to use AI to craft more individualized messages to more people. Like I need to mass produce individualized messages. And so there are some tools in LinkedIn using ChatGPT to be able to send direct messages to people that are personalized, but I can get out, you know, 20 more a day than I am now.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but I'm glad you asked because that is something I'm looking at. Like, I got to expand my reach somehow. And there's no,
Right.
I'm looking around at my marketing team like, oh, it's it's still just me.
Right. Gotta look in the mirror there. Yeah, that's something AI is so good at. I've come to find with my own business as well. You can be sending, maybe 20 or 30 emails or messages a day manually yourself, typing them out, making them personal. Or you can use AI to automate that process and send out hundreds a day to different people and yeah, completely like, tenfold that outreach process. It's so amazing. Now that we kind of covered
Yeah.
all that, what's working well for you right now? What's kind of been frustrating? How have you been successful?
It's a really good question. Um, so I'm, about 2 years into this, and I'm thinking now about advice that I got almost 2 years ago that I didn't really understand until recently, which is that what you set out to do is probably not what you're going to actually end up doing. And that is that you, any business, whether you're, selling widgets or software or consulting, is that you have to find the intersection between what you want to do, what you have energy and passion for, and what people will actually pay you to do.
Right.
So I started off doing this wanting to focus on first-time managers. I think first-time managers are a chronically underserved group in our population. In so many corporate settings, we promote the people to be managers, not because they're the best managers, but because they were the best doers. They were the top producer. So we're going to make you a manager. But they kind of leave them on an island. There's not a lot of leadership training or leadership coaching there. And so they just end up saying, well, this worked for me. You do it, team, and it'll work for you. But that's obviously not the way it works. What I found is that the budgets for coaching is typically geared towards executives, seasoned leaders. So what I ended up doing was creating this kind of repeatable program for leaders that are in transition. Whether you're a first-time manager or a seasoned executive who got promoted from, VP of sales to CRO or switched companies to a leadership position, I created this program that is based around 3 questions every leader should be asking themselves when they start a new leadership role. And that has been going really well. That's a lot. That's what that workshop I mentioned is based around as well, so that I can kind of like take that to the masses in a more repeatable way.
Right. Yeah.
So that
Systemizing that process and making it something you can repeat. I like that. Definitely makes your job a little bit easier if you don't have to start from scratch every single time. And if you know what's typical and you come to find in most clients, I like that a lot that you're systemizing that process.
yeah,
And how has that impacted your growth and how you've been scaling your business?
it's going really well because I finally have something to sell. Like my background is sales, and when you have a really clear message about I know that there's a pain here, and I know that I have a really good solution. It makes it so much easier to sell. For the first year, when I said I was fumbling through it, it was kind of like coaching. It's leadership consulting. Why doesn't everybody want this? But it was too broad of a message to sell to be really effective. And so now I have a really good target audience of any leader who who changed positions, which you can filter that on LinkedIn and find leads. And I can sell them this really proven system that works. So as a marketing team and sales team, like just knowing, having a lot more confidence in like having a product and a really clear message has made it much easier to sell, much easier to have conversations, and then move them from prospects into clients.
Right. Yeah, you can't sell something if you can't explain or demonstrate the value. If they don't see the
It
value,
was,
they're
yeah,
they're
it
not
was,
going
it
to
was
buy it,
just too
right?
broad. You can't be everything to everyone, which, in your first year or two of doing something like this, you just don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
And it took enough trial and error and asking clients for feedback and asking for help and just kind of like trying things, and those things didn't work, so we're going to try something else. It just takes time to figure out what you have passion for and what people will pay you for at the same time.
Yeah, I like that advice. That's definitely something that's tricky to find the middle ground there for some people, but once you find it, it's so amazing because you can enjoy what you do and make money off it. It's like the greatest wish anyone could have. It's awesome. Now that
Yeah.
we've kind of explained what's going on for you and how you've been successful and how after 2 years you've got a successful business and you're doing well, what's kind of been holding you back from being that multi-million-dollar coach and being where you want to be?
Man, I mean, time. Like
Yep.
it's coaching. I don't know how many of your listeners, have experience with coaching, but you can't scale yourself. Like I only have so many hours in the day, and if
Hmm.
I'm only making money off of my time, that's as much money as I'll be able to make. So, like I said, develop like thinking in a way of like, all right, how can I scale this idea? How can I bring this to more people and, increase my price point without increasing my, hourly labor, basically.
Right.
And so that's why, like I said, developing this workshop and getting that out and figuring out who my audience is and who my customer is going to be for that, because that customer is different from my individual executive coaching customer. Just trying to figure that out, and you got to just put yourself out there and pick up the phone and cold call some people. And for the most part, people are always willing to help. If you explain, like, look, I'm not a polished salesperson. I'm trying to figure this out. Would you consider buying something like this? To people that you think you're going to get that received well with.
Hmm.
That's a really good way to just kind of polish your message. And then you can take it to the masses and say, I know this works. I feel really good about this. And then you just increase my audience by a little bit every time until you're talking 1,000-person conferences and things like that.
Right. Yeah, that'd be amazing. And it sounds like you're already doing a good job of being where you want to be. You're systemizing that process. Like you said, you're low on time. Everyone's got the same 24 hours in the day. And I'm sure if you've got
Yeah,
a bunch of client calls, you're gonna not gonna have too much time to focus on how you're gonna grow yourself, like you said. But yeah, if you're already systemizing that process and building out these platforms and using AI is so key because you can automate those certain tasks. And that, like I said earlier,
yeah,
it's your other five employees that you have. Yeah, looks like you're heading in the right direction there. That's
yeah.
amazing. Now,
While knowing this, I'll finish the thought up by saying this.
yeah,
2 years from now, this might look completely different. So right
right,
now, it's like this is the best idea that I'll ever have. This is definitely going to work. And then, you have to just like iterate and innovate over time. And so I'm doing this now knowing that 5 years from now, it probably will could be completely different from this. And like that's one of the like I don't know if that's holding me back, but that is one of the craziest things to think about is like, all right, well, what am I not thinking of? What are my customers going to be asking for that I can anticipate that and meet them
right.
where they are or where they will be?
Right. Yeah, that's one of the key skills of being an entrepreneur is being able to predict these trends and where things are going and saying, hey, maybe in 2027 my job's going to be useless because AI is me building itself and it's going to be implementing itself. I might be out of a job. And you got to look and see what's going and make plans and strategies accordingly so that you can be bulletproof to these new things that are happening and the continuation of these trends with AI and all the other things that are going on. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And for yourself, what are your goals for next 6 to 12 months? What are you looking to achieve other than just scaling and becoming a bigger business?
Yeah, that's a good question. I in order for me to grow and scale like we talked about, I need to move up market. Most of my customers are in the 50 to, like 300 employee range.
Hmm.
And I've got a couple deals in the works that are more like the 500 to 1500
There we go.
company or employee range. And man, that is, I gotta say that's scary to think about being, like reaching that kind of audience is it's one of those things where like I can probably sell it, but then once you sell it, you got to deliver on it. And so it's exciting, but it's also a little nerve-wracking thinking
Yep.
about working with corporations like that. Because the other part of it is moving up market and selling those deals becomes obviously much more complicated. A 50 to 100 person company, you're probably dealing directly with the CEO. He's probably authorizing budget. He or she is probably signing off on it.
Yep.
The higher up market you go, you're dealing with bigger legal, more
Right.
procurement, different budgets. So that's the part that I need to do in order to grow. And luckily, I have software sales experience selling to companies like that.
Yep.
But man, it's not the most fun part of the job.
I think sales is something that everyone dreads. No one likes being on a sales call. No one likes being the salesman. Well, some people do, but it's definitely something a lot of people avoid do. But I see what you're saying there. I like it.
Yeah,
And
I
what
don't
it?
mind it, but I've never sold. It's like when and now I'm selling myself. I'm not
Yep.
selling this cool product that we have. I'm literally selling my face, my
Hmm.
voice, my experience, and that is so different. Nothing could have prepared me for that.
Right. You need that next level of confidence and say, I'm the man. You need to hire me, right? That's
Yes,
awesome. There you
that's
go.
right.
And what does that mean for you personally to achieve these goals? What's in it for you?
Um, the reason most people become a coach, an independent coach, is because you have a chance to decide who your clients are, set your own schedule, create however you want. So the more successful you get at this particular job, the more freedom it gives
Hmm.
you. And so when I think of where I want to be in 10 years, it's spending more time with my family and fishing way more than I do currently. The better
Right.
I do, the more I systemize and make this job efficient, is the more time I can spend out on the river. And that is certainly what I'm planning on doing towards the end of my career.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, that's everyone's goal, right, dude? Well, at least most people's goal is to spend more time with the family, do the things they love, and being an entrepreneur just inspires that in so many ways. I love it. It's amazing. I'm glad that you're on the same track there. That's so valuable. We've covered almost everything I wanted to cover today, besides one last thing. I wanted to ask you, what is the biggest lesson you've learned along your journey so far these past 2 years as an entrepreneur or as a salesman in your past career that has led to who you are today?
It's something that I deal with personally every day, and I see in almost every interaction that I have with my clients,
Hmm.
which is the fact that what got you here won't get you there. I said it earlier, but it's so true. It's when people it's certainly when I think I've got this figured out. I know exactly what I'm doing. It worked last time. It's definitely going to work this time. That is when you cause friction with people, you make mistakes, unnecessary mistakes, and you set yourself up for failure. And so having going into every interaction with you that you have with a customer, with a coworker, with a leader, with the question, what can I learn?
Hmm.
you set yourself up for success in a way because it pauses you from action and it pauses you from saying, I got this. I know exactly how to fix this. Everybody stand back and watch this. And it opens you up to collaborate and to innovate so much more. So if I there's one thing I recommend to people, it's go into interactions with a learning mindset. Seek to understand, and you will make everyone around you better and happier to work with you.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's so valuable in the workplace, right? Especially for these larger companies that you're starting to try and do business with, is they have all these employees and they need to, it's important for them to understand, everyone is working on the same team, everyone's trying to achieve the same goals. You need to start with a level playing field and be able to collaborate with each other, and they'll provide the best results. I'm sure you could explain that a little bit better than myself, but I get what you're saying.
You clearly have experience with it, though.
Of course, and it's amazing that you're providing that to these other businesses. Is there anything else besides looking for that financial and time freedom and those lessons you just shared that inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
I mean, I've had a lot of really good leaders in my life,
Yeah,
and I do this job because I want everyone to have a chance to be a really good leader because
yeah,
I know that the impact that these people had on me and the lessons that I took from those good leaders, without knowing it, I would pass on to the people that worked for me. And chances are they're going to pass those lessons on to people that work for them. And all of a sudden, you have created this legacy that will outlive you. And I just really want to inspire a generation of leaders to be really conscious, really deliberate in
yeah,
how they lead people instead of just saying, this worked for me, just do it, it'll work for you. Because I think we collectively as an American business community can do a really good job if we're thoughtful about it.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing. I'm so glad you shared that. Well, listen, Michael, you shared some amazing insights today, and everything you said has been really valuable, and a good understanding of what you do and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur and someone that cares about their business and scaling it. And I really thank you for your time today and coming on the podcast, and I look forward to continue speaking with you.
Yeah, it's so great to be here. Thank you so much. Balancepoint.coach is my website, or come find me on LinkedIn.
Of course, everyone go check it out. I hope you see some traction there. That'd be amazing. Thanks again, Michael. Take care.
Thanks, Ethan.